Have you ever felt that someone loved you, but when you looked into their eyes, they seemed just as confused as you were? It's a strange kind of pull, isn't it? A connection that doesn't shout, it whispers. It hides behind clumsy words, nervous laughter, or quiet glances that linger just a little too long. You sense it not because they tell you, but because their soul seems to lean closer when they think you're not looking. Somewhere deep inside, you feel it. He's more in love with you than even he realizes. But love, when it comes from the unconscious, has its own secret language. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious mind speaks in symbols, gestures, and hidden emotions long before words ever catch up. Love, in its purest form, doesn't always arrive with grand declarations or bold promises. Often, it sneaks in quietly, woven into actions that even the person feeling them doesn't fully understand yet. When a man falls for you, his unconscious mind often betrays him first. Before he can even put it into words, before he even realizes it himself, his energy shifts. His instincts change. It's like his soul recognizes you before his mind does. And that's why so many women feel it before they ever hear it. You're not imagining things. You're not overthinking. Your heart picks up on the whispers of his soul, the ones he hasn't found the courage to speak out loud yet. Stay with me until the end, because today, you'll finally understand what your heart has always sensed but couldn't explain. You'll see the hidden signs, the ones that reveal he's much more in love with you than even he knows. You deserve to feel certain about what your heart already knows. You deserve to trust the silent moments, the soft gestures, the quiet pull that words can't capture. So, stay with me, because as we walk through these hidden signs together, you'll start to see how love isn't just something spoken, it's something revealed. Slowly, instinctively, and often without the other person even realizing they're doing it. By the time we reach the end, you'll have the clarity your soul has been aching for. You'll no longer question if you're imagining it. You'll understand the deeper language he's been speaking with his actions, even when his words fall behind. This journey is for you to honor the deep, intuitive knowing that has been right all along. At first, it's almost invisible, a glance that lingers a second too long, a small, unexplainable tension when you enter the room, a softening of his voice when he speaks to you. Even if he doesn't realize it, he finds small reasons to be near you. Reasons that don't always make sense even to him. It might be the way he offers to help you with little things you could easily do yourself, or how he listens not just with his ears, but with his whole body, leaning in, absorbing every word like it matters more than you know. Sometimes, he seems to stumble over his own confidence. Words that usually come so easily to him suddenly feel clumsy around you. Jung called this the power of the unconscious confronting something sacred, because true connection stirs something deeper than the surface self can control. Have you ever noticed that around you, he sometimes becomes a little more awkward, a little less polished, but somehow, even more real? That's not an accident. It's a soul recognizing its reflection, and it shakes him in ways he's not ready to explain, even to himself. As the unconscious feelings grow stronger, something else begins to shift. He starts to feel responsible for your emotions, even when he doesn't fully understand why. If you're hurt, even by something small, he feels it deeper than he shows. If you're tired, he notices, and without thinking, he adjusts. He begins to anticipate your needs in subtle ways, trying to ease your burdens even when you haven't spoken a word about them. You'll catch it in the small pauses, the way he hesitates before saying something that might upset you, the way he softens when he senses you pulling away, the way his energy seems to steady itself just to make you feel safer. He might not always get it right. Sometimes he'll stutter, misread, or act distant because the feelings are overwhelming. But underneath it all, there's a deep current and invisible thread pulling him closer to your heart, even when he's scared of what it means. Have you ever noticed him growing quieter when you're upset, as if your sadness weighs on him too? That's not just kindness. That's unconscious love, the kind that ties his emotions to yours without permission. He might not say, "I'm in love with you" yet, but his soul already has. And then, without even realizing it, he begins to change. Not in loud, obvious ways, but in the quiet choices he makes when he thinks no one is paying attention. He starts prioritizing you not because he feels obligated, but because being close to you becomes something he unconsciously craves. Your happiness begins to matter to him more than his own comfort. Your presence becomes a silent need he never knew he had. You might notice he becomes more protective, not possessive, but careful. Careful with your feelings. Careful with how others treat you in his presence. Careful with the space he holds for you without even needing to be asked. He may also start striving to become a better version of himself, not through grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but through small, persistent efforts to be someone you can lean on. It's as if being near you calls him toward his own growth, his own becoming. Have you ever seen him quietly push himself to do better, without ever mentioning it was because of you? That's the soul's confession. That's love shaping him from the inside out, long before his mind is brave enough to catch up. Sometimes, the clearest confessions come in the silence, in the spaces where you are no longer in the room, but your presence lingers anyway. When he's away from you, that's when the truth of his feelings often reveals itself. Does he check in, even without a reason? Does he send a small message that seems casual, but is really just a quiet way of saying, "I miss you," without saying the words? Or maybe he grows restless, distracted. The world feels a little less full when you're not in it with him. You may not always see it firsthand, but if you listen closely, you'll notice the way he holds you in his absence. He might mention you to others without realizing it, weaving you into his stories like you are already part of his life's tapestry. Or he might carry a tension, a certain unsettledness, like something vital is missing from his day. Have you ever disappeared for a while, only to find that when you returned, he greeted you with a warmth that felt almost like relief? Not dramatic, not overwhelming, just real, just there. That longing, that unconscious searching for you, even when you're not there, is love in its purest, rawest form. Because when someone truly loves you, your absence is not empty, it echoes. As love grows deeper beneath the surface, something almost magical begins to happen. Your energies start to synchronize. Without needing to explain yourself, he starts sensing your moods, responding to your silences, mirroring your emotions, in ways that feel almost impossible to fake. When you're joyful, he seems lighter too. When you're hurting, a quiet sadness pulls at him even if he doesn't understand why. It's as if your emotional weather touches him without a word needing to be spoken. You might find him finishing your sentences, or noticing the small changes in your tone long before anyone else does. You might catch him instinctively reaching for you when you're feeling low, offering comfort without asking what's wrong, because somehow, he already knows. Carl Jung believed that at a certain depth, souls recognize each other beyond masks, beyond language, beyond thought. And when that happens, connection stops being something you build. It becomes something you feel. Have you ever shared a moment with him, a glance, a laugh, a breath where no words were needed, but everything was understood? That's not imagination. That's emotional synchronization. That's love unfolding itself in the quiet, sacred spaces between you. At some point, almost without noticing, he begins to weave you into his visions of the future, not always in grand, obvious declarations, but in small, almost careless ways that reveal just how deeply you've settled into his heart. He might mention a trip he wants to take, and without thinking, he says, "We should go there someday." Or he imagines a new dream, a new plan, and somehow, you are already standing beside him in it. It's the quiet assumptions that tell you everything. The way he talks about we instead of I. The way he smiles when imagining the life still waiting ahead. A smile that includes you, even if he hasn't fully admitted it out loud yet. You'll hear it in the way he talks about seasons, holidays, milestones, as if it's already natural to picture you there through all of them. Have you ever noticed him casually bringing you into conversations about years from now, without a hint of hesitation? That's the soul speaking again. That's his unconscious mind, already holding you as part of the future he secretly hopes for. When someone envisions you standing with them in the days they haven't even lived yet, it means their heart has already chosen you in ways their mind is still trying to catch up to. If you've ever doubted what your heart quietly whispered to you, let this be your reminder. You are not imagining things. You are not reaching for something that isn't there. Love, real love, often speaks its first words through energy, instinct, and soul. Long before the mind is brave enough to follow. It doesn't always look like poetry or fairy tales. Sometimes it's awkward. Sometimes it's clumsy. Sometimes it's silent. But if you look closely, you'll see it stitched into every careful glance, every unconscious act of kindness, every silent pull toward you. You deserve to trust the feeling that stirs quietly when he's near. You deserve to believe in the truth that your soul recognizes even when he hasn't yet found the words. Because the deepest loves are not shouted from rooftops. They are lived quietly, reverently, bravely, in the moments no one else notices. And if you have felt that sacred echo within him, hold it close. It's real, it's rare, and it's yours to believe in. If these words touched something deep inside you, if you recognized even a single moment, even a single feeling, I invite you to share your story in the comments. You never know. Your experience might be the light someone else has been searching for. And if you know someone who could find comfort in these quiet truths, please share this video with them. Sometimes, just knowing we're not alone in what we feel can heal more than we realize. You deserve love that speaks beyond words. You deserve to trust what your soul has always known. Thank you for being here, for listening with your heart, for believing in the silent languages of love. Until we meet again, stay close to your truth. It will always guide you home.